I'm the food tech guy. I'll be talking about one vital element of food safety. I mentioned it in my last video where I explained about food safety. It's just a brief summary of what food safety is. You can scroll through my page to um, go through that video. That element of food safety is good hygiene and good hygiene, and you agree with me with that the opposite of good is bad. So but the term we use in the food industry is not bad hygiene, we call it poor hygiene. This uh phenomenon, let me use that word because it is a key disaster that is really a cause of food poisoning. That's major cause of food poisoning. Poor hygiene is basically where you are producing your food, and also the handler, whoever is producing the food, and the environment where the food is being produced, and the tools being used in the production is not hygienic, is not in the right and standard state. That is poor hygiene. I want you to watch this video. Okay, you can see how disastrous that video is, and it is really alarming whenever I come across videos like this. It really touches my heart so badly that people need to know where their food is being produced. That is why I'll be talking about poor hygiene, and for the purpose of food handlers, for anyone manufacturing food, anyone producing food for customers, for consumers, and also for food business owners, for you to know the standard that is required of you, that is required of your business, and also for new people aspiring to start their food business, so that you can be aware of the standard that is required of you. That is what I'll be talking about, poor hygiene. When it comes to poor hygiene, in my experience and decade in this food industry, I've seen good hygiene practice, and I've seen very poor hygiene practice. I've seen both, and I can assure you that, like I said, most food poisoning, most foodborne illness that is being recorded are being traced to majorly to poor hygiene. And poor hygiene is not only the environment. It is not only the environment, keeping the environment clean, keeping tools clean. Poor hygiene could come from the personal hygiene of the food handler. The major thing poor hygiene does is to cross-contaminate. It cross-contaminates. That is, it transfer microorganisms from point A to point B. Most of the time, it transfer from point A, which is the poor hygienic state. It transfer it to point B, which is either food, either the raw material itself, the finished material, is the finished product itself. The moment these microbia are transferred into the food that you eat, that is why you feel sick, you feel this upset, you feel ill. And it is very important for every consumer to look at the surrounding where you are buying your food. And the sad reality is that most food business always make their point, let me use the word point of contact to customers. They make it so lovely, so tidied, so but when you go to the back end, that is when you see how disastrous this this site they are producing your food is. So it is very important as food handlers to keep the environment where you are producing your food tidied, like in so clean. That is why it is important. There is a rule of wash as you go, clean as you go. There is that rule, clean as you go, wash your utensils as you go. So there's that rule in place. There's this practice in place. That is why um, environmental health officers will come in and advise, okay, do this, you need to do this. I've seen videos, I've seen reports where the EHO will go to a site and will discover some disastrous atrocities going on where food is being produced. So it is important to, as food handlers, to make sure you follow every procedure set in place for practicing good hygiene. It is very important. And as the food business owner, it is important you have the right staff, do the necessary training and do the necessary monitoring of this process. You don't just create the procedure, create this process and just sit back and that's all. It is important to follow those processes. It is important. Like I mentioned in my last video, the consequences of all of this is, number one, you could get huge fine. You could get huge fine. Number two, it damages your reputation. And number three, your business can be shut down. Your business can be shut down. In as much the government doesn't want to shut down your business, they will advise you on things to do, It is still your responsibility to follow those guidelines. That is why at the start of your business, when you are opening your business, you register with the Food Standard Agency, whereby they come and do your inspection, they give you guidelines on things to do, and it is your responsibility to follow those guidelines. That is when they come back for their visitation, they look at your documentation. Are you following the cleaning procedure? Are you documenting the cleaning records? Do you have the records in place? They look at your surrounding, they look at everything. Is everything as how it's supposed to be? So that is why it is important to access knowledge. If you want to start up your food business, it is important you seek help. It is important you ask for advice. It's important to read more on things you don't know about the food business, so that when you are operating, you will do everything properly. So it is important that every food handler, food business owners, and prospective food business owner know that hygiene is key in reducing cross-contamination, in reducing food poisoning. So it is our duty to practice this and make sure every food that is being consumed by our customers come from a very hygienic environment and hygienic tools, hygienic people. So I hope you've learned quite a number of things. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comments, or you can reach out to me so that I can share more light when it comes to food hygiene practice.